for the most part, I thought this whole situation with Sweet Baby Inc. has kind of run its course by now. We basically had people shine a light on what Sweet Baby Inc. was doing as a company. So they started attacking those people, and then journalists started coming out to defend Sweet Baby Inc., yada, 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 Gamergate 2.0 and all that stuff, which, yes, it does seem like it's kind of Gamergate-esque because originally it was about ethics and gaming journalisms, and right now you got gaming journalists actually going to bat for a company that consults on video games. You would think that they should be more on the consumer side, but game journalists want their access, and they also have their own agendas that they're trying to push, so whatever, it is what it is. But now we got this new information that's coming out that I think is kind of funny, which reminds me of like the Charlie Kelly conspiracy with all the strings on the board and things like that, because that's kind of what we're getting here, because I love this headline. U.S. government funded nonprofit takes this response to Sweet Baby Inc. backlash by calling on video game industry to clearly and unequivocally denounce Gamergate. So you just probably see that headline. It's like, whoa, U.S. government-backed nonprofit is trying to call people to denounce Gamergate, but it's really not what it seems on the surface right there, because, okay, here's what it is. You got this nonprofit that it's talking about that's calling to denounce Gamergate. So they're basically, this nonprofit is backing Sweet Baby Inc. in this argument. So it's not enough that they have game journalists backing them. They also have these nonprofits backing them. In response to the recent discourse surrounding the work of the aforementioned narrative consulting company, the mental health and the video game-centric nonprofit organization Take This has called on both players and the industry at large to clearly and unequivocally denounce Gamergate. So that's what the organization they're talking about, the nonprofit here. It's called Take This. And they're the ones calling on people to denounce Gamergate in light of this whole Sweet Baby Inc. thing going on right now. And on the surface, they don't necessarily sound like they're so bad. This is what they have to say about them in this article. A 501c3 nonprofit funded in 2014, Take This describes itself as a mental health organization providing comprehensive resources, support, and consultation tailored for the unique needs of the game development community. Okay, I mean, it's obviously them trying to put their best foot forward, but that doesn't sound too bad. But then you start looking into the people and that they're actually involved with, and you can see that they have their tentacles really all out in the game community, and they're not necessarily bringing in the best people to their organization. Far from a minor entity within the industry, a number of noted figures are counted among the company's governing board members and officers, including Bethesda Marketing VP Pete Hines, Ubisoft VP of Global Diversity and Inclusion, Rashi Sika, and PlayStation's Head of Global Portfolio and Acquisitions, Christian Svensson. And this is where you're starting to see this company for what they really are. Because like I said, initially they sound like, okay, so what, not that big of a deal. But when you have people on there that's literally VP of Global Diversity and Inclusion, and that's literally DEI stuff right there, it's like, oh, okay, this is why they're calling to denounce Gamergate and why they're backing Sweet Baby Inc. in this whole situation right now. But you're probably wondering, like, well, where does the government fit in here? And that's where this comes in. In terms of its ties to the United States government, per a public disclaimer on their various white papers, their work is funded as part of an official Department of Homeland Security research project known as Disruptive Video Game-Based Radicalization through Collaborative Cross-Sector Networks. It goes on to say this joint project from the Center on Terrorism, Extremism, and Counterterrorism, Take This, and anti-disinformation AI developer Logically, seeks to develop a shared framework for understanding extremism in games, reads the project's official proposal abstract, as seen on its official funding application. So this is just them trying to get a little bit extra money from the government. And for people who don't understand how these government grants work, just as a quick aside, the government loves to waste money on whatever they can think of. And in this situation, the Department of Homeland Security is probably offering grant money to different nonprofits if they're looking into how people are becoming radicalized by video games and other things like that. It's stupid, but like I said, the government wastes a lot of money. So Take This will then fill out this application saying, yeah, we'll look into that for you if you give us some money for this. And this is why we are looking into it, and whatever they put in their application, that's what they put in their application. And the Department of Homeland Security looked at that and be like, okay, yeah, that's good. We'll give you some grant money. it's less likely that the Department of Homeland Security or the government itself is calling to denounce Gamergate. They're just giving some money to an organization that is doing that and is defending a company like Sweet Baby Inc. I think this whole situation is stupid, but you know, nonprofits try to grift money in any way they can. In addition, this project will provide a first of its kind collaborative structure for public-private partnerships on preventing and mitigating game-based extremism. I'm really curious, for the most part, how many actual extremists are coming from video games? And also compare this to other industries, like just in the entertainment industry as a whole. Like, how many extremists are coming from being radicalized in video game versus just from watching a movie or reading books or something like that? I know for a fact there's been lots of terrorists out there who read books or who got their like radicalized for the most part from books that they've read, and not even like any extreme ones like Mein Kampf or something like that. But I mean, just regular books that people, I mean, for the most part, if you actually read just about like the US government and the history of like various government organizations, that's going to radicalize a lot of people. I mean, you want to radicalize someone, just give them a history book and then they're going to hate governments. So are they really investigating that? Well, I don't know. Maybe they are investigating that stuff. They probably keep a record of whatever book that you buy. I mean, you can't buy something like the Anarchist Cookbook without going on some type of a list. So I don't know, maybe there is something like that, but it's just kind of funny. They're actually mad at gamers or they're targeting gamers. And I don't think they're really much of a risk, because for the most part, it's like, what are they going to do? They're going to get angry, post about it online, but ultimately they're not going to really do anything. But I don't know. This has been kind of like the cry since like the 90s or whatever. It's like, oh, people are getting extreme on video games, or it's going to encourage violence or whatever, but there's never been any information to support that claim. But yet there's organizations like this who's still trying to milk the government dollar because, you know, they can. It's like, yeah, we need that government money to keep investigating this sort of thing because it's an actual thing. But if they come back and ever say like, oh, no, gamers aren't being radicalized or they're not going to actually do anything, well, then that money dries up. So they kind of have an incentive to keep this whole grift going along. And that's really what they're doing in this situation right here. And it is kind of funny because of what Take This says that they're about. They're against harassment of people and things like that. And the whole point about this Sweet Baby Inc. situation came about because people for Sweet Baby Inc. were harassing Steam and other users online to try to get that Steam page taken down, because it was just simply reporting what they already disclosed on their website, in that, hey, this company is involved with the production of these games. That's really all that happened. That doesn't seem like much harassment to me, but they're trying to harass Steam and harass anyone who actually supports that creator right there and trying to get their accounts banned and stuff like that. So if Take This was actually sincere in that they want to try to get rid of harassment in the gaming industry and in the gaming sphere, then it'd be going after Sweet Baby Inc. But that's also insinuating that they're a principled organization, in which, judging by the people that they have on their board and kind of going by reading between the lines about what they're about, I'm guessing that they're not actually principled. They have an agenda that they're trying to push, and that agenda is actually just anti-gamers in general. So they're just kind of sticking with that whole line by saying they're about something else though. But that's really this whole situation right here. I just wanted to talk about it because I just thought the whole thing was funny. But let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with the latest in entertainment news. And if you can, click that like button and share the video because it really helps out with the channel. Thank you.